I'm Christine Schiavone, and our show is Spiritual Exploration. Tonight we're going to talk about Reiki, which is a subject that's near and dear to my heart because I'm a Reiki master. And I have with me another Reiki master and former guest and good friend, Blanca Greenberg. How you doing, Blanca?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for having me on the show again.
Oh, it's my pleasure, always.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about Reiki tonight. We're both Reiki masters, so we both know about the subject. And we're going to let everybody know. I did a show about this a long time ago, a couple of years back. And I want to do another show tonight. It'll be a little different than the show that we did the last time. And we will have a demonstration of Reiki, and we will talk first about what Reiki is and what it does for us. First of all, it's a very ancient art, right?
That's correct. It's been around for thousands of years, and although it's only been discovered here in the United States within the last 3 or 4 decades, it's been a sacred tradition that's been used for thousands of years.
Yeah, I understand the Tibetan monks used to kind of hoard it and keep it to themselves.
Yes, they did. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to be a secret so that it would be maintained as a sacred art. And you were to be chosen to learn how to practice Reiki. And today it's becoming a very well and respected modality.
Yes, for healing, and it's a very strong and intelligent energy that we use to give Reiki to the recipients, people who need healing.
That's correct. Actually, I want to tell you that also it's become so well respected that even hospitals.
Oh yeah.
It's very important for the viewers to know that even hospitals are beginning to incorporate what is being called as CAM, which is Complementary and Alternative Medicine, to include Reiki.
I know. As a matter of fact, I believe I've heard that a lot of nurses are learning to use Reiki in the hospitals.
That's correct.
Yes.
Nurses are becoming very interested in the modality because they want to pass that energy healing as well as the hands-on healing of being a nurse.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's good to combine Reiki with traditional medicine.
Absolutely. It's the perfect marriage of body, mind, and spirit.
Yes, yes. Well, Reiki, what does it heal now?
Well, Reiki is known as a holistic, integrative energy, and it's known to address all the components of the body persona, which are the physical, the mental, the emotional, and spiritual aspects of the body.
Now, when a person is receiving Reiki, it's a hands-on modality, and that person is receiving the energy.
That's correct.
And when they're receiving the energy, it is taking care of whatever they need.
It addresses those 4 levels of the body persona. That's correct. And so let's say, for example, someone is suffering from confusion, having trouble concentrating, making decisions. Depressed. Those are all mental, not attributes, but situations.
Right.
Alongside with that, they're emotionally depressed, physically tired, suffering from physical ailments. All those components are addressed through Reiki healings. Of course, someone who is suffering from multiple ailments on those 4 levels may require more than one Reiki healing in order to see an improvement in those areas. But even one Reiki healing will address, at least to some degree, those levels of discord within the body persona.
Reiki is a very intelligent energy that can also be sent.
That's right.
You know, we use it as a hands-on modality, but if a person is far away, we can send the energy to them by using symbols that were given to Master Usui, I believe.
That's correct.
In the 1800s, a Japanese gentleman who rediscovered Reiki. He went up on the mountain for 21 days, did a 21-day fast to get the symbols. At the end of 21 days, he didn't have anything, and he was giving up.
Right, exactly. He felt discouraged that he did not understand why. He actually was searching to discover how Christ had been a healer, and he wanted to know and receive messages to reveal
what energy he used.
Exactly, what energy or attributes that the Christ received in order to become a healer. And
yeah, Yeah, I believe that our Lord used Reiki because,
I believe so also.
yeah, because when I was in church one time and there was a gospel about a woman who had had an ailment for many years, and he was healing people, and she just wanted to touch his robe and be healed, and she had that faith that she didn't even have to go up to him and tell him what was wrong with her. She just needed to be healed, and he felt the energy pull. When I heard that during the gospel in church, I said it must have been Reiki.
That's right. And you know what, Christine, it's important also for the viewers who are watching to know that Reiki is representative of universal life force, and that can be substituted for whatever divine source is known to you. And so it's important because so many people hear the name Reiki and say, what is that? And because the name is foreign and they don't understand what it stands for, they feel that it may interfere or violate their religion structure, and it doesn't.
No.
Reiki is representative of God, Buddha, Mother Earth, divinity, Jesus Christ, or whomever or whatever life, divine force you worship.
In itself, though, it's not a religion.
It is not. It can be incorporated because it's a divine source.
Right, right. Well, I know as a Catholic, I was introduced to Reiki the first time at a Catholic women's retreat at Mount Manresa here on Staten Island.
And were you?
Prior to that, I had no idea of what Reiki was. I received a Reiki session at that point in time and enjoyed it, and asked the lady about how do you learn it, and she says you go to school, and that was the end of that. And then later on down the road, the opportunity presented itself for me to learn it.
To learn it again.
And I did it.
To become a practitioner.
Yes, yes, and I've since become a Reiki master.
Well, still today, although the modality is becoming well known, there are people, as I said, that because they have no idea what Reiki is, and some people have a problem even pronouncing it, Reiki, they misinterpret and immediately think that it's a cult. I have many people ask me, so what do you do? And they look terrified, almost afraid. And so I say I work with energy. I act as a channel by which other people become sort of intimidated and or turned off at the fact because they think that a practitioner is saying that they are the healing source. And don't understand that, you know, they almost consider it blasphemous.
Right.
That a practitioner would be calling themselves a healer. And so it's important for the viewers to understand that we are a channel by which divine energy travels.
Right. We just are attuned to being able to harness the energy, run it through ourselves and into another person for the purpose of their healing and highest good. That's
correct. And it's focus that separates, we're all natural healers. And we do that every day. We don't have to call ourselves a Reiki practitioner in order to be a healer. We heal people every day. You know, if a friend comes to you and he's ailing or disturbed, confused, what do? You hold his hand. Right. You put your hands over his shoulder. You offer him a smile. Right. And those are all healing elements that you're offering to this person, primarily through touch. Right. And so I try to encourage everyone to realize that we're all natural healers. The difference between a Reiki practitioner is that he or she is focusing to, you know, spiritually to act as a channel for divine energy to travel on a higher vibration to enhance and promote healing. Because we've learned how to do that and we've been attuned to the energy. That's correct. And we learn how to detach ourselves from the emotional drama that keeps us in discord all the time and in disharmony. Right. And also when we're giving Reiki, we are receiving it at the same time so that anything that we need healed is also being taken care of. That's correct. That's why it's such a beneficial and loving energy, because you're healing yourself. You know, this is a lifelong process where, you know, you're always the student and the teacher, I say, where, you know, just because you're a practitioner does not necessarily mean that you're floating in the air like, oh. Right. We need healing too. And so it's a loving gift that you're giving yourself as well as to the receiver. Right, which is good, because it's like killing two birds with one stone, right? So to speak, right? That's right. Well, we do have a volunteer, a gentleman who was really nice enough to come to the studio tonight. He's a fellow producer, and
somehow I felt led to ask him if he would like to be the recipient of Reiki tonight.
Okay.
I feel that perhaps it was divinely led, I hope.
Well, everything is perfectly orchestrated, right?
That's right.
So.
That's right. And he has never experienced Reiki. His name is William Petrano, and he'll be with us shortly.
Okay.
And he's never experienced Reiki, and that's what I wanted. Someone who's never experienced it. When I mentioned Reiki to him, actually I had given him my card to exchange phone numbers with him to see if we could help each other on our shows.
Okay.
And when he saw the word Reiki on my card, and he asked me what it was, and I said, okay, this might not be a bad idea
to introduce him to the modality.
Because I knew he knew nothing about it. He had no idea what it was. He still doesn't. He doesn't know what to expect at all. He's been full of questions, and now maybe we can answer some of those questions for him. And then after we're done, you're going to let everyone know exactly what I'm doing. And when we're done, we're going to get William's feelings about what he experienced. All right,
Very
William,
good.
if you'd like to come up.
How you doing?
Fine.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Christine.
Hey, William.
How are you? Okay, let me mic myself up here.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be putting the symbols in first.
Okay.
You mentioned
We got a problem with the mic here. Here's the thing. The clip came off.
You know what, William, I'll tell you what, why don't you just hold it? You don't need it right now. When we're asking you, you can just hold it up to yourself.
Okay, very
Okay?
good. Very good.
If we could have the music, we're going to be using Merlin's Magic Reiki, which is very nice music for the background for a person who's receiving Reiki. And if you just relax, William, close your eyes and just relax and just take it all in, okay? This will be about 10 minutes.
Now, different practitioners have a different way of commencing a Reiki session. Some practitioners actually do a prayer, hand movement prior to the commencement of a Reiki session, and others accept the willingness of a participant as an invitation to allow Reiki energy to enter the circle of healing. And so right now Christine is opening the aura and asking the divine energy of Reiki to join them in healing. Now, Christine is placing her hand on the receiver's crown chakra. The crown chakra is known as the divine channel where energy travels through the spinal area, and it vibrates and divine energy through the chakras, which are alongside the spinal area. The divine chakra located in the crown is where we experience divinity. Okay. Christine has now placed her hands over the eyes, and here the receiver is receiving energy around the eye area, as well as the chakra, the third chakra, which is located in the middle of our physical eyes. This is known as the psychic center and is where we can experience the spiritual dimension. During this process, a person, a receiver, may experience flashes of light, of divine light, may feel some tingling sensation, some warmth, and these are all natural experiences during a Reiki healing. A receiver usually feels very relaxed and calm. Now Christine has placed her hands on the shoulder area of the receiver, and again, this is an area which carries a lot of burden. Usually in the physical realm, when we're stressed or experiencing emotional problems, we carry a load on our shoulders. And so by placing our hands on the shoulders, we're calling upon divine energy to release us of any stress in this area. Now, Christine has placed her hands on the throat chakra. This is the chakra where we express ourselves with integrity and truth. And this chakra is often clogged when we don't speak with integrity or with our true experience of feeling. We can experience this cord in this area, and so we call upon energy to clear and purify the throat chakra. This is the heart chakra now, where Christine has placed her hand, and it connects the upper chakras to the lower chakras. It's where our divine, sacred self resides. We can actually work from this chakra on its own to deliver divine healing to the body. And the person usually experiences immense love, purity, and a sense of peace. Christine is now placing energy both on the heart chakra.
Sandwiching the heart.
Okay, some practitioners call this position sandwiching.
Yes.
Okay. And Christina, would you like to elaborate on what this particular position represents for you?
Well, this particular position, first of all, I did the front of the heart first.
Okay.
And then the next position is to sandwich the heart, so that's to run the energy and heal the heart.
Okay.
In many ways. There might be physical ailments to the heart or emotional ailments, and this is for healing the heart.
Okay. And again, certain practitioners have been taught different traditions within Reiki, but don't underestimate or at all the fact that we might have different hand positions because divine energy is divine energy and Reiki is an intelligent source. And so as long as the practitioner practices with intent to heal, it does not really matter where the hands are placed. The energy will travel and will promote healing.
Notice I don't take my hands off him at all.
That's correct.
That is so
that's pretty much a common practice with practitioners, that in order to keep the energy flowing, you always keep one hand
at least
in the receiver's body as you're moving around the body persona. And now Christine has placed her hand on the solar plexus, hand position. And this is where we hold emotion, and this is where we also express our will. Okay, and so when we are not practicing our free will, we hold on to emotion that does not serve us. Okay, it can affect this area.
And this is when you have a gut feeling.
Or also we're intuitive.
Funny feeling about something.
That's right.
Or if you're angry, you feel it in there.
Anger.
That's right. And any kind of emotion. Resentment is also felt there, also in the heart chakra. Right.
But whenever someone is experiencing something that's violating, I call it, violating to their total happiness, it will most likely be felt in this chakra.
Now this is mainly what we're doing here is an upper body Reiki session.
Okay.
It is a full body chair session. We're doing an upper body right now just because of time constraints. And there's a full body chair session as well, where you go down the legs as well. And then there's a table full body session.
Right. Certain practitioners may have a preference as to how they apply Reiki to a receiver. As you said, sometimes because of constraints, depending on where you're working, you may have to have someone sit. I personally prefer to have a receiver recline because I like to scan the body, but this accommodates the receiver just as well, Christine. And you're holding the receiver's hand right now, and as you said, you're passing energy through the entire body structure.
Well, from the hand to the elbow, and now up to the shoulder.
There are certain practitioners who actually take this particular position to activate as well the receiver's hand chakras. And as I said earlier, we're all natural healers. And so as a channel by which divine energy is traveling, and as you hold the receiver's hand, you're activating their natural ability to heal themselves.
That's right. And I'm placing his right hand now, over his solar plexus.
Okay.
And I'm going to come around and do the same thing on the left side.
Very good. And so just by the simple placement of the hands that Christine has done with the receiver, he is actually activating healing energy on his own to his body persona.
Right.
This is very calming, very healing, and it's just a wonderful sacred experience. During this process, if nothing else, a receiver can experience a great sense of serenity, release of stress, and
sometimes even bliss.
Total bliss. I may very well spontaneous bliss. And it's just a wonderful experience.
Now I'm going to take his left hand and I'm putting it over his heart. And he's going to stay there. Now this is what is called the universal position.
Okay.
I go to sleep every night with my hands like that for self-healing.
That's correct.
And everybody can do that.
Anyone can do that, actually. They can place their hands with intent, with a sincere and humble intent that as a natural healer, you can bring healing
to yourself,
onto your divine, from your divine self to your physical entity.
Right. Now, William, if you just move up a little bit like this, I'm just gonna put my hands behind your small of your back. Now you can lean back into me, okay?
Now, would you like to explain this position, Christy?
Well, this is now to healing on the spine itself.
Mm-hmm.
And down up, the spine to for the purpose of healing the spine, probably helping to straighten out the calcium on the spine.
Mm-hmm. And also, the main 7 chakras are located throughout the spinal cord area, and so as you're applying healing there, all the chakras are receiving a little bit of energy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, when we give Reiki, we're opening up the chakras so that they can receive the healing. And now I put my one hand down his spine, and then the other hand across, and that's called the T position. Mm-hmm. And that's also for the back and the spine. And the energy will go where it's needed.
Where it's needed, exactly. And the placement of the hands is done to focus energy in those particular chakras, but also some practitioners, as they continue to practice, can actually feel and sense discord in particular areas or in particular chakras, and can actually promote healing, greater healing, quicker, mm-hmm. By placing their hands. And if they feel, any discord there, call upon energy, the divine energy, to dissolve and release that energy from that particular area.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now the upper body Reiki session is finished, except that now I will close the chakras.
That's right, and it's very important when a practitioner is applying Reiki, he or she calls upon the receiver to allow them to open their divine spiritual chakras and auras. And it's very important for a practitioner to close these auras
yes.
before completing.
Can't send people out with open chakras, right?
It has happened. I have seen clients who have come to me with open chakras.
Really?
And auras, yes.
Wow.
Actually, I had a first Reiki 1 student who was sent home for 21 days with open auras.
Oh, no.
And was experiencing panic attacks.
I'll bet.
And very anxious.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So.
So William is,
And so usually a prayer is said, a prayer of thanks at the completion of a Reiki session to thank the receiver and the universal light for allowing us to be able to offer this process and be part of this process. And we usually ask a receiver to remain in the position, you know, that if they've been asked to recline, and to just take a very deep breath, a very slow breath, and open their eyes very slowly. And so, William, if you'd like,
anytime you'd like to, William.
you just take a nice
Take it
breath.
easy, take your time. So, oh, you can take your hands down now if you want to. Here, let's hold this and tell us,
I don't know what the thing is.
how do you feel? Well, we'll find it later.
Wow.
Hold it up to your mouth.
I can honestly say your hands were warm in certain spots. Is that?
That's
Very,
normal, yes.
very typical.
But not everywhere. My
Okay.
back especially.
Your back.
Well, you know,
Because
sometimes...
I drive a truck, you know, besides me being an actor and producing everything.
Right.
And I get back pain, you know.
And you felt the warmth there.
I felt the warmth there and over here.
See, sometimes...
Do you have a heating pad there? Or something?
No, my hands, just my hands. Okay. When you have a condition that exists, very often when the hands are placed near that, now you're talking about your back. You have back pain.
It's
you have
occasional.
discomfort.
Goes with the job, you know.
Okay. Now, very often you will draw more. Your body will just draw more energy
Into
to
the
that area.
It was warm.
Yeah.
That was and very relaxing. I gotta say that today was a semi-stressful day, but all week was stressful. You know, with this everything with the the high alert and all that stuff, and being pulled over, checking your truck out, and making But so this week was very stressful. But I gotta admit that not only the warmth, but it was very relaxing.
So in other words, you ended the week with a Reiki session that relaxed you, took away the stress of the week.
Yeah, I guess so.
And this was just a demo.
But the warmth was that was.
Everybody says the warmth is, yes, it's part of the energy.
Yeah, that was. I felt it in like a couple of spots.
Now, one thing I have to tell you, after when you leave here and everything, drink a lot of water.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Water, Reiki will also tend to break things up that may exist in you, and water will help flush them out.
Oh.
So after you
should drink 8 glasses a day anyway,
right.
But
but drink a lot.
Drink a lot of water,
lot of
like
water.
tonight.
Tonight, yes.
And tomorrow too, or?
Whenever. Well, it'll never hurt you.
No, I know, but you're saying like especially tonight.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Drink a lot of water.
I also like to
Yes.
tell receivers as well, Christine,
Yes.
that after Reiki healing, our 5 senses automatically become heightened. You have 5 natural senses, and so people who experience Reiki suddenly have a sharper sight of vision or heightened
Help me.
sense
yeah.
of smell.
Help me. Yeah.
It's always for
They
your
be-
highest good.
The warmth that I felt, was that because there's a problem in that area?
It could be.